Actually, it started, strangely enough, with my younger sister.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, First of all, you may or may not know, I'm a grad student here at
Oh,
Oakland.
grad student. All right.
My sister got her undergrad degree here.
Mm-hmm.
She was vice president of the group at the time when I started coming in.
Mm-hmm.
And she was like, "Oh, you gotta start coming over to the gaming again. We play all kinds of games, and it's fun."
Mm-hmm.
So that's really how it all started. And at the
Hmm.
time, they needed someone to be president. So I'm like, okay, I'm good with games. I'm okay with people. Why not? And here I am 2 years in.
Nice, nice. So before you joined the group, as you were saying, you like games. Were you already a very avid gamer?
Oh yeah. I play and still play all kinds of games.
Mm-hmm.
Primarily, I play a lot of Magic, miniatures, board gaming, War Machine and Hordes.
Mm-hmm.
I play a few video games from time to time too. My lack of free time lately has kind of diminished that a bit.
Right.
I still try to get into that every once in a while.
Mm-hmm. So about the group, what would you say would be like the worst experience with it?
Really hard to pick a worst experience. 'Cause, I mean, sometimes you'll have a bad game where like dice didn't go your way, you didn't draw the right cards,
Right.
or there was lag. That seems to be the most common video game excuse for anything.
Pretty much, yeah.
Sometimes lag is just an excuse for bad players still, but we don't go there. But in general, I just had a couple of times where it's like, okay, this game is getting kind of annoying. I don't want to be that guy who just gets up and leaves,
Mm-hmm.
but I really don't want to stay. I want to start something new.
Right.
It doesn't really happen a lot though, so
Hmm.
it's very rare occurrence. I've generally had very, very positive experiences with the game go.
All right. That's good. So positive experiences. What would you say is the best experience?
That's actually another one that's really hard to nail down. I'd say just all the different friends I've made, whether it's people who just showed up and said, "Oh, what's that? What's that game you're playing? How do you play?" Or just like some of us Magic players have become kind of close knit to the point where we play a format called Commander all the time. We're all playing games together. We always have really epic plays that are just they leave you with that good feeling again, and that's really what I like. You
Right.
play a game that has a really good feeling.
Right. So when you go to the meetings, you mentioned that you play Magic. What do you typically spend the most time doing?
Probably Magic, although I've been trying to branch out a little more, get in with some of the more general board games.
Mm-hmm.
I've actually been trying to introduce the group to a couple of them that I found very fun.
Hmm.
It's mixed results, but in general, as long as people are willing to try and have fun doing it, that's really what I look for.
Right. Right. So, which do you prefer more? Board games, card games, or video games, and why?
I typically sway towards the board game, card game side because, in my eyes, it's a lot more real human interaction.
Right.
Like if you're playing an online game, yeah, you might be yelling at people through a headset or typing something in a chat or what have you, but it kind of comes down to something I went to at my last internship, where communication is kind of a three-way street.
Right.
There's the verbal, there's the visual, and then there's your body language.
Mm-hmm.
And you kind of have to have all three to get the full effect.
Right. And so you think that card games and board games kind of bring all three into play?
Yeah, because you can get that eye contact, you can get that very social
Right.
thing going around instead of just yelling at your computer screen.
Right. So you mentioned how you were introducing games to the guild. What games has any people in the group brought to your attention?
One of the big ones for me, and it actually started a interest in the genre for me.
Mm-hmm.
When I first joined up, I was introduced to a deck building game called Dominion.
Dominion. All right.
It's basically a card game where you randomly deal out 10 cards as a pool that you buy to build your deck and try to score the most victory points with it. It's it really brings one of my favorite aspects of card gaming into it, where you see how the different cards or pieces interact, and you try to build your strategy around those interactions.
Right. So, do you think that the group allows you to be open about what you're interested in, as in, like, you can talk about your favorite games or talk about games in general?
Oh yeah, very much. Like, I will not get hit on if I say, oh, yes, I play Pokemon.
Right.
I'm 28 years old and I play Pokemon, I'm not ashamed.
It's alright, I do too.
Are you 28 years old though?
Oh no, only 18.
That's what I thought. But anyways, I can be really open about what I like to play because in a lot of cases, I just want to spread my enjoyment to other people.
Right.
So by doing that, I can say, oh, you like this kind of aspect. Well, I know a game where you can kind of use something like that aspect. And that's not only broadens my horizons and finding out more about the other people, but they get to learn something as a result.
So, how do you think being part of the group has benefited you, and in what ways?
I'd say the biggest benefit that I've kind of already touched on is just making a bunch of different friends that I would not have met before.
Right.
Because as a grad student, and because I work full time, I typically am working all day. I'll come here for class and leave. By joining the gaming guild, that kind of gave me a way to meet new people who have similar interests to my own, because in the end, a lot of gamers really share these same kinds of interests. And plus, it's a great way to unwind at the end of the week.
True, on Fridays. So, I know that the meetings go on from about 4 in the afternoon to 11 at night. How much time do you usually spend at the meetings?
Well, as president, I try to and have to spend as much as I can. Work sometimes gets in the way of that, but I usually try to show up, depending on when I can roll out work, around 5:30, and I'll stay all the way till the end, and then some of us actually go out to eat afterwards, so there's some fun after-hours activities where we just, like I said, tend to bond even more over cheap appetizers at Applebee's. Just have a good time.
Right.
A number of times we actually got kicked out a couple of times because it was way after close. So that's how long we ended up talking.
So, if you could describe the group in like a few sentences for someone who's not a member, what would you say?
Well, do you like to have fun? Do you like to meet new people? I think that's the gaming guild's for you, because it's just a great way to relax, be yourself, learn something new, and just have fun.
Right.
Doesn't matter what kind of games you like. We let all skill levels, all interests. We don't really care. As long as you're willing to have fun.
So I know that the club has a bunch of like role-playing games, like different board games from Dungeons and Dragons. How do you feel playing those types of games would benefit somebody?
Welcome to the hardest question.
Kinda.
I think one of the biggest benefits of playing a role-playing game, being a D&D veteran myself, I'm actually planning on, at some point, probably fall semester, introducing the group to another role-playing system. It's a great way to venture out, use your imagination, kind of escape yourself for a little while, and just kind of live out a nice epic tale of everyone just being super cool and killing all the monsters. Or, in some cases, like one campaign I was in, we ended up being the evil guys.
Oh. I actually didn't know that about Dungeons and Dragons and stuff.
Well, the thing about role-playing games like that is they're very open-ended. You can pretty much do whatever you want, as the dungeon master, game master, whoever's refereeing the session.
Hmm.
As long as he doesn't say no, which doesn't usually happen because you're supposed to say yes to the players,
Mm-hmm.
you can do whatever you want.
Hmm.
You could be the intrepid heroes, or you could be the villains that are taking over the world.
Hmm. That's very interesting. So I know that online gaming isn't popular due to the internet issues at Oakland, like with the latency issue. Are there any online games that you play during your free time?
What little free time that I have, as I touched on earlier, working full time and school at night, I still do a few games online. I'll occasionally hop on Team Fortress 2,
Mm-hmm.
because that's just a nice way to lighten it off and do silly things. I also play a decent amount of Civilization, Civ 5.
Mm-hmm.
Just something that can let me calm down, relax. I'm personally not really into the hardcore shooters, your Call of Duties, or anything like that.
Right. Hmm.
That's just a personal thing, though.
Yeah, me either. Not really a fan. So, do you feel that people come to the meetings to socialize or to mainly play games?
I'd like to say a little bit of both,
Mm-hmm.
because at the end, we'll have people who will come in and be like, "Oh, you're playing a game. Well, how do you play? Can I play?" Things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And they start coming more and more often, and it goes back to the whole, making friends deal. And it's like, oh, well, we have these kinds of interests, so we'll have people playing games, and then there'll still be a few people off to the side just chatting about whatever because, oh, hey, I didn't know that about you.
Hmm.
So I think it's a little bit of both, pardon me.
So, do you think that being the president, you've known or at least have spoken to everybody in the group mostly? And does the group feel kind of close knit together?
I've spoken at least in general to most of the people. Some of the people in the video game area I don't see as often because I usually concentrate on the board game, but I still try to do at least one run around during the entire session.
Right.
I wouldn't say like the entire guild as a whole is entirely close knit, but there are groups. Like you'll have like a Smash Brothers group, you'll have the Magic group, you'll have a role playing group, you'll have the casual war gamers group, and so on and so forth. And they'll all become a very close knit community. I've actually been trying to get a little more interaction between them because we don't want to segregate, we don't want to keep anyone out.
Right.
But in general, we do get a lot of groups that get close knit. I think that's still a good thing.
I agree. Well, thank you for your time.
Yep. No, it's a pleasure.